A few last points that have to do with general with mitzvot ba'aretz. Important to know that Trumot U'Maasrot need to be taken only from fruits and vegetables that grow in people's fields, backyards, meaning they're owned by someone. If there's no ownership, that's called hefker. Anyone can pick from the tree or from the ground. It grows in the wilderness, or here in Ra'anana, we have some trees growing that the Iriyah planted. They grow on the sides of streets, are not owned by anyone. Anyone can go ahead and pick from. Those do not need Trumot U'Maasrot. Those you pick from, you can eat in the street, you can eat in your home. You bring it into your house, you eat without Trumot U'Maasrot. Anything that's meant for all, then the Kohen, the Levi, or the Ani, the needy person, could have picked them themselves. Therefore, you don't need to give anything from it to others, so that you eat just like that. Another important halacha. If you have in your backyard some trees or vegetables growing, if you eat them outdoors before you bring them into the house, and you pick only one at a time, then you don't need to eat that. You don't need to take Trumot U'Maasrot from that one. The moment it enters your house, or the moment you've picked two of the same kind, that's it. You need to take Trumot U'Maasrot from any amount. It could be one kumquat, or two actually, that you picked from the tree at once together, and then you already need to cut away and say this whole nusach to take Trumot U'Maasrot. If you just picked one from the tree and you're outdoors, then you can just eat it without Trumot U'Maasrot. Okay, that's it for Trumot U'Maasrot. We'll deal very quickly with two more topics. Orla, Netar Evai, which are together, and Kilayim. Orla means that for the first 3 years of the growth of a tree, it's a baby tree, it just was planted and it grew its first 3 years, we mustn't eat any of its produce. No fruits are allowed. This is only for fruits. Vegetables, you eat immediately after you've planted. No alaba vegetables. For fruit, you do not eat them at all for the first 3 years. You're not even allowed to give them away to a goy or to anyone. They're asur b'achila, asur b'ana'ah. You cannot benefit from them either. They have to go to waste, go to the garbage, not touch them. For the first 3 years, it's complicated to explain how we calculate the years. Ask your local rabbi to explain. By the way, agriculturally, it's the best during those 3 years to try to pick off of the tree, pick the buds off of the tree. Because why waste the tree's strength to grow all these fruits when it's already going to the waste, to the garbage? So it's better to pick them off while it's still a bud, and that way it doesn't waste the strength of the tree. So that's Orla. Netar Evai is the 4th year. The 4th year. All the produce of the 4th year is as holy as Maaser Sheni. Like we said before, it should have been taken to Yerushalayim and eaten in a pure manner. Since we can't do that, then we redeem all the fruit of the 4th year on a coin. Or again, you do it by subscribing to Mechonat Torah B'Aretz, and they have the coin segregated for you. During that year, the 4th year, no other Trumot U'Maasrot are required. You do not cut away Truma Gdola, Trumat Maaser, Maaser Rishon, or Maaser Sheni. It's only Netar Evai. You eat all the fruit, but just you have to redeem the holiness of all the produce of that 4th year onto a coin. And again, best if you're subscribed. Mechonat Torah B'Aretz, they have the coin for you. You just say a bracha and the actual redeeming on the coin, and then you're set to eat all the produce of that year without any need for anything else. Finally, a word about Kilayim. Kilayim means we mustn't plant 2 different types of seeds of vegetables. If it's a tree and very close to it, some vegetables around it, we mustn't plant them close together. Complicated halachot, we won't go into all of them, but as practical as possible, if you're growing a bunch or a row of one type in your backyard, or the same as in a pot, even indoors. If you're growing in different types, let's say some cucumbers and tomatoes and cherry tomatoes, all these different types, and herbs of different types, they mustn't be too close one next to the other. The way you calculate it is you calculate from the place where the seed was placed. You measure from that where the beginning of the stem comes out of the ground, not by the leaves. Rather, where the stem comes out of the ground, you measure 12 centimeters away from a different type. If it's all the same type, then obviously you can have them very close to each other. But if it's a different type of produce, different type of vegetable or herb, then you have to separate 12 centimeters between the seeds of one type and the seeds of another type.